くりレ夢ムです。ゆっくりマリサだぜ。
Hi, Raimo. Hi, Marissa. Hey guys. Why does a week have 7 days? The mystery nobody questions.
ゆっくりしていってね。
Section 1. Hook. You wake up on Monday. You get through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Finally hit Friday. Weekend. Then it starts again 0.7 days. Every single week. Every week of your entire life. Every week in recorded human history. But here's a question almost nobody stops to ask. Why 7? Not 5. Not 10. Not 8. Not some number that actually divides evenly into a year. 0.7. A prime number. A number that fits into nothing else cleanly. A number that leaves the calendar in a permanently awkward state. Because 365 doesn't divide by 7. Which is why holidays drift around. Why your birthday lands on a different day every year. Why the calendar never quite lines up with itself. The 7-day week is mathematically inconvenient, historically strange, and nearly universal across every civilization on Earth. And nobody, not historians, not astronomers, not mathematicians, can fully agree on why that's the case we're investigating. Today. Section 2. The story begins. Let's start with what we know for certain. The 7-day week is very, very old. And it does not come from nature. Here's what I mean by that. Most units of time have a natural origin. A day is one rotation of the Earth. Someone, somewhere, at some point in history, decided that 7 days would make a useful chunk of time, and that decision spread across the entire world. The question is, who decided? And why 7? The earliest solid evidence of a 7-day week comes from Mesopotamia, ancient Babylon, roughly 2,500 to 3,000 years ago. The Babylonians were extraordinary astronomers, arguably the most sophisticated skywatchers of the ancient world. They tracked the movements of celestial bodies with remarkable precision, using mathematics that was advanced for its era. And the Babylonians had identified 7 celestial objects that moved independently across the sky. Objects that didn't stay fixed like the stars did. The Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. 7 objects. 7 special things in the sky that behaved differently from everything else. The Babylonians believed these 7 objects were divine. Gods, powers that governed human fate. And they believed each one ruled over a specific hour of each day, cycling through in order. The object that ruled the first hour of a day gave that day its name. Do the math. Cycling 7 objects through 24 hours per day, and the first hour of each successive day falls to a different object, in a specific recurring pattern. 7 days. 7 rulers. 1 week. The Babylonians didn't invent the 7-day week as a calendar convenience. They invented it as a theology. Section 3. The evidence. Now let's examine the evidence. Because the trail of the 7-day week through history is genuinely surprising, and it leads somewhere most people don't expect. First piece of evidence. The names of the days. Look at the days of the week in English, and something strange becomes visible. Saturday. Saturday comes from Saturn, the Roman name for the planet and the god. Clear connection. Sunday. The sun's day. Obvious. Monday. The moon's day. Still obvious. Tuesday. This one gets interesting. Tuesday comes from Tiw, the Norse god of war, who was associated with Mars. The Romans called this day Martis Dies, Mars's day. The Norse substituted their own equivalent god. Same planet, different name. Wednesday. Woden's day. Woden, or Odin, was the chief Norse god, associated with Mercury. The Romans called it Mercurii Dies, Thursday. Thor's day. Thor, the Norse thunder god, was associated with Jupiter, the Roman king of the gods, also a thunder deity. Roman name, Iovis Dies, Friday. Frigg's day, or in some tellings, Freya's day. The Norse goddess associated with Venus. Roman name, Veneris Dies. 7 days. 7 celestial objects. 7 gods. First Roman, then overlaid with Norse equivalents when Germanic cultures adopted the system. The names have changed slightly over centuries and across languages. But underneath every language that uses a 7-day week, the same 7 heavenly bodies are still there. This is the first major clue in the investigation. The week isn't just a timekeeping system. It's a fossil, a preserved record of an ancient belief system, embedded in the language you use every single day without thinking about it first. Nobody in the modern world really notices this. But then investigators examined the historical spread of the week and discovered something unexpected. Second piece of evidence: the Jewish Sabbath, running parallel to the Babylonian planetary week, and possibly predating it in some form, is the Hebrew 7-day cycle described in the book of Genesis. God creates the world in 6 days, rests on the 7th. That day, the Sabbath, is holy, set apart, different from the others. This is a 7-day cycle with a completely different justification. Not planets, not gods, a divine work and rest rhythm built into the structure of creation itself. The Hebrew week and the Babylonian planetary week developed in the same geographic region, ancient Mesopotamia and the surrounding areas, around a similar historical period. Whether one influenced the other, whether both drew from a common older source, or whether 7 was chosen independently for completely different reasons, that's a genuinely unresolved historical question. But here's what's remarkable. 2 completely different civilizations. 2 completely different reasons for choosing 7, associated with Babylonian astrology and Jewish religious practice, neither of which carried particular prestige in classical Rome. And then, gradually, mysteriously, the 7-day week waned by the time of the Emperor Augustus. The planetary week was spreading through Roman culture. By the 1st century AD, it was widely used alongside the official calendar. By the time of Constantine in the early 4th century, when Christianity became the dominant religion of the empire, the 7-day week with Sunday as a special day was effectively standard. No emperor decreed it. No council voted on it. No authority made it official and announced the change. It just spread. Person to person, city to city, culture to culture. Like an idea whose time had come, and once Rome adopted it, it went everywhere Rome went. Fourth piece of evidence: the holdouts, and what happened to them. Investigators studying the history of the week found something deeply strange. Several major civilizations tried to change it, and every single attempt failed. The most dramatic case: the French Revolution. In 1793, the revolutionary government of France decided to rationalize everything. They introduced a new calendar, the French Republican calendar, completely redesigned. 12 months of 30 days each. And weeks? 10 days instead of 7. Rational. Decimal. Clean. They called the 10th day the Decade, the day of rest. They renamed all the months. Religious communities refused to abandon the Sabbath. The market rhythms of neighboring countries didn't align. The 7-day week shrugged off a revolutionary government, survived Napoleon, and kept going. The Soviet Union tried something similar in the 1920s and 1930s. A continuous working week, first 5 days, then 6, designed to keep factories running without any universal day off. Different workers rested on different days. The 7-day rhythm was deliberately disrupted. It failed. Workers couldn't coordinate with their families. Social life fragmented. The system was abandoned by 1940. Kept winning. Every time. Section 4. Theories. Now we reach the most contested part of this investigation. Why 7? Not 5, not 6, not 8, not 10. Multiple serious theories have been proposed. Let's examine the strongest ones. Theory 1. It came from the planets. Pure Babylonian astronomy. This is the most academically established theory. The Babylonians identified 7 moving celestial objects: sun, moon, and the 5 planets visible to the naked eye. They assigned divine significance to these 7. The 7-day cycle emerged from their theological and astronomical The planetary hours system is documented. The weakness: it doesn't fully explain why 7-day cycles appear in cultures that had no direct contact with Babylonian astronomy. And it raises the question, why did the Babylonians find 7 planets special in the first place? They were exceptional astronomers. They knew there were more objects in the sky. They chose to elevate these 7 specifically. Theory 2. It came from the lunar cycle. Imprecisely, the moon takes roughly 29.5 days to complete one cycle. Divide that by 4. New moon, first quarter, full moon, last quarter, and you get approximately 7.4 days per phase. Round down to 7, and you have a natural quarter moon week. 4 of them per lunar month, more or less. This theory says 7 was chosen because it tracks the moon in a practical, easy-to-observe way. No math required. No theology. Just watching the sky, the strength. It's simple. It requires no astronomical sophistication. Any culture looking at the moon could arrive at 7 independently. The weakness: 7.4 is not 7. Over time, a 7-day week drifts completely out of alignment with actual lunar phases. If the quarter moon were really the origin, you'd expect ancient cultures to correct for the drift, and they didn't. The week floated free of the moon early on. Theory 3. 7 is cognitively special. Humans are built to find it natural. This is the most psychologically interesting theory, and it comes from an unexpected direction. Cognitive scientists have identified what's called the subitizing limit, the number of objects humans can instantly perceive without counting. For most people, that limit is around 4 to 7. Beyond 7, you stop seeing a quantity immediately and start having to count. 7 is at the edge of what the human mind can hold in immediate awareness. It's the largest number that feels like a unit rather than a collection. That there's also the famous observation by psychologist George Miller in 1956 that human short-term memory holds approximately 7 items, plus or minus 2. 7 chunks of information, 7 items on a list. 7 days you can track in your head without writing anything down. This theory suggests that 7-day cycles persisted and spread, not because of religion or astronomy specifically, but because 7 is exactly what human cognition can track without effort. It's the natural unit size for a mind like ours, the strength. It explains why 7 won against 5, 8, and 10. And it explains why so many unrelated cultures converged on roughly 7-day rhythms independently. The weakness: correlation isn't causation. Human minds are also very good at tracking 12, which is why we have 12 months, 12 hours, 12 inches. 7 being cognitively comfortable doesn't prove it was chosen for that reason. Theory 4. It was the Jewish Sabbath, and Christianity carried it everywhere. That a simpler historical theory. The 7-day week became truly universal in regions that became Christian. The names changed to honor local gods, and then changed back to planetary names or stayed as saints' days depending on the culture. But the 7-day structure stayed constant everywhere Christianity reached. The weakness: it doesn't explain the origin, only the spread. And it doesn't explain why non-Christian cultures that had contact with the system also adopted it, including many cultures that converted to Islam, which also uses a 7-day week with Friday as its special day. Section 5. The most likely answered: here's what the full body of evidence suggests. No single theory explains everything. The 7-day week probably has multiple origins, and survived because multiple independent forces all pointed to 7 at the same time. The Babylonian planetary system gave the week its structure and its names. 7 gods, 7 days, a theological framework that made sense within the most sophisticated astronomical culture of the ancient world. The Hebrew Sabbath gave the week its social function, a mandatory rhythm of work and rest that organized community life and gave ordinary people a recurring anchor in time. One day in 7 that was different. A week you could feel in your body. The cognitive fit, 7 being at the edge of immediate human perception, made the week easy to track and easy to remember, without any external tool. You can count 7 days in your head. You feel when the week is over in a way you wouldn't feel a 10-day cycle. And the religious spread, first through the Roman Empire via Christianity, then through the Arab world via Islam, then globally through European colonialism, meant that by the time any alternative had a chance to compete, the 7-day week was already too deeply embedded to dislodge. Every civilization that tried to replace it discovered the same thing the French revolutionaries and Soviet planners discovered. You can change a calendar on paper. You cannot change the rhythm that 1 billion people are already living by. The hidden truth of the 7-day week is that it's stuck not because it's the best possible system. It's mathematically awkward. It doesn't divide a year evenly. It creates constant calendar drift. But because it was good enough, it arrived early. And it attached itself to the most powerful cultural and religious forces in human history. 7 days won, because it was in the right place at the right time. Multiple times, in multiple civilizations, simultaneously. That kind of convergence is not an accident. But it's also not a master plan. It's what happens when a piece of human technology, a way of organizing time, fits well enough with how humans think and how human societies work that nothing can dislodge it. Section 6. Conclusion. Here's what stays with me after investigating this case. You use the 7-day week today. You'll use it tomorrow. You'll use it for the rest of your life. And so will every person you know, and every person they know. It organizes your work schedule, your religious practice, your social life, your sense of when the weekend arrives and when Monday comes back around. And it was invented, or assembled, or emerged from the intersection of Babylonian stargazing, ancient theology, Jewish religious law, Roman imperial culture, the cognitive limits of human memory, and the spread of world religions across every continent on Earth. It is, in a very real sense, one of the most successful ideas in human history. Not because it's elegant, it isn't. Not because it's mathematically clean, it's the opposite. But because it survived. Because it embedded itself so deeply into human life that revolutionary governments, rational philosophers, and Soviet central planners all tried to replace it, and all failed. There's something worth sitting with in that failure. The French revolutionaries were, in many ways, right. A 10-day week is more rational. It fits a decimal system. It divides more cleanly. But rationality alone has never been enough to change something this deeply embedded in how people live. 7 days isn't just a calendar unit. It's a felt rhythm, a heartbeat, a structure that billions of people carry in their bodies without thinking about it. And here's the detail that I find most genuinely mysterious: the day names. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You say them every week. You probably said at least one today, and embedded in those words, in the ordinary syllables of ordinary conversation, are the names of gods that nobody has worshipped for over 1,000 years: Saturn, Sol, Luna, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, the Babylonian sky, frozen in language, surviving in the mouths of people who have never once looked up and seen what those names originally pointed to. The gods are gone. The belief system is gone. The empire that spread the names is gone. But every Monday morning, without knowing it, billions of people still say the name of the moon. 7 days. 7 planets. 7 gods. Still running the week. Still running the world.